Welcome to Cancer, Smiles, and Sarcasm. I'm your host, Tammy, also known as a Ragdoll Warrior. Yeah, I like to call myself the Ragdoll Warrior. Well, first, most people with cancer, or at least breast cancer, they call themselves warriors because of the shit we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and we keep going through it and making it through life. But Ragdoll is really fitting for me. If you saw my breast, you would know why. My body looks like a rag doll, right? I've been sewn together and patched up. It's not the most lovely thing to look at. Anyways, but I like rag dolls, right? Somebody loves them enough to patch them up, carry them around, love them no matter what they look like, right? My husband does that for me. And they're warriors. They make it through everything and drag them on the ground. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm Ragdoll Warrior. I have TikTok and Facebook and all that good stuff, a little bit of YouTube out there as well. But welcome to Cancer, Smiles, and Sarcasm. So this is going to be an informative and inspiring moment for you where you can spend 30 minutes to 45 minutes of your day listening to people's cancer journeys. So maybe that's as a service provider, maybe that's as a warrior, a patient, a survivor, maybe it's as a loved one of someone with cancer or a friend of someone with cancer. We're going to talk about all different kinds of things, and we're going to inform you with some stats. We're going to talk about lessons learned, how alcohol and THC might play a factor in cancer, side effects, all those lovely alternatives. We're going to talk about some bullshitters who pretend like they have cancer. American Cancer Society estimated in 2025, based on numbers from 2007, 2022, that in the United States, over 2 million people would be living with cancer. 317,000 people would have breast cancer deaths. 42,000 women would die. 500 men would die of breast cancer. The breast cancer ages are getting younger. Lung cancer. In the 2000s, people were getting lung cancer mostly in their 40s. Now it's in the 30s. So why is that? We're going to talk about infections, tobacco, weight, alcohol, but this is going to be fun, right? We're going to talk about other stuff. So we're going to throw some sarcasm in there and throw some jokes in there because my motto is, if you're not laughing, you're crying. And I want you to have some time just to think about things, learn about things, hear us shooting the shit, right? It's not political. It's not religious. I am a lawyer. And so if one of my guests likes to throw some right side in or some left side in or talk about God or talk about, the Quran, anything, I'm going to challenge them to look at all different perspectives, right? I'm going to challenge them to think like an agnostic, whatever it is, because that's what I enjoy doing, right? I enjoy being the devil's advocate. And so that's what this is going to be all about, right? Different views, different stories. And we're going to have some sarcasm and have some laughs with it because we need to have some laughs in life. But I want to tell you what qualifies me to have this podcast. So I am a cancer patient, is how I like to call myself. In August 2023, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, estrogen positive breast cancer. In October 2023, I got my boobs cut off. I had a double mastectomy because I had a rather large lump in my right breast. I also had some lymph nodes removed. So based on that and having 8 out of 12 lymph nodes positive for cancer, that put me in the stage 3 bracket. I wasn't given, how long you're going to live, blah, 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 not the shit that you see on TV. I survived, right? So I went through 12 weeks of chemo and 2 months of radiation. During that whole entire time, I worked as a lawyer. Yes, I did. Sometimes it sucked, but I continued on, and I feel like that may be why I got through, I would say, pretty easy. Chemo didn't kick my ass. Radiation didn't kick my ass. And we're going to talk about that and how cancer looks different for everyone, right? Because it certainly looked different for my husband, who was diagnosed with throat cancer in December of 2023. So just a few months after me. Yes, you cannot make this shit up. It is real, okay? So he got diagnosed in 2023 of December with throat cancer from HPV. He was not a smoker. My dad, who was a smoker, he got lung cancer. My dad died in 2026. My husband is now cancer-free. We were going through chemo and radiation together. That's how we do it as a lovely couple, right? I hope none of you have to deal with that, but it's real. And so we went through chemo and radiation together. As of April 2024, He was free of cancer, so was I. But unfortunately, in May of 2025, I was having a hard time breathing. After a while, I ended up going to the emergency room, and sure as shit, they told me I had stage 4 cancer. It's called stage 4 because it metastasized to a new location, right? My breasts were gone, so the breast cancer came back in my lungs and in my bones. Typically, for breast cancer patients, that's where it goes. It goes lungs, bones, and brain. And, people might find that sad. I certainly find it sad, right? But I'm not going to sit and wallow in it. You're not alone, okay? You're not alone as somebody who has had to support somebody with cancer, somebody who's serving people who are living with cancer. You're not alone as a cancer patient. You're not alone as a cancer survivor. And once you have cancer in your life, it never goes away, right? It's just there because there's PTSD associated with it. So these podcasts are going to kind of walk you through it, give you 45 minutes of your day to learn something new, to get inspired, to feel whatever you feel. And I hope I make you laugh. I hope you get a giggle out of this, right? I hope you walk away with something inspiring, something new. We're going to talk about alternatives. We're going to talk about drinking and smoking. We're going to talk about how employment and Social Security might impact that. Some of that's boring, right? But we're going to also throw in some other shit that hopefully makes you laugh. We're going to talk about right to die states, and we're going to talk about religion. And so with that, I do want to tell you, I am not religious, but I don't deny that there is a God, right? Some might call me an agnostic. Regardless, whatever your beliefs are, I'm cool with that. I'm a lawyer. I will play devil's advocate because that's what I enjoy doing, right? So certainly we're going to talk about how religion or God or belief systems play a role in our journeys with cancer, right? Our journeys with cancer as supports or as patients or as survivors. And we'll talk about how politics, the big pharma, right? We'll talk about all those conspiracy theories and how that plays a role in our cancer journeys. But if anyone of my guests hits one side or the other, right or left, red or blue, God or not, whatever it is, I'm going to challenge them to look at all perspective because I challenge you to do the same, right? And I hope that this podcast brings to you perspective from all different kinds of views because, gosh, this cancer, just like it's not just one cancer, it is like autism. It's a lot. I have estrogen positive cancer, but there's people who have triple negative cancer. There's people that have HER2 breast cancer. And each one of our lives look different. And when we have conversations, we have to identify our cancer because fuck, it is just so big. So you can't just talk about cancer like you shouldn't just talk about a liberal. You shouldn't just talk about a Republican, or you shouldn't just talk about a Catholic. You shouldn't just talk about most things in this little bubble, right? And so we're going to talk about all of that: breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer. We're going to talk about how God plays a role in it, if he does, or if she does, or if she doesn't. We're going to talk about how your state that you live in or your ethnicity might play a role in this. Stats from 2025 from the American Cancer Society: 93% of people with breast cancer were white, while only 84% of them are Black. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all these different things: infections, tobacco, weight, alcohol, how they can play a role. And I'm going to challenge everything to look at different perspectives. And we'll try and use science, and we'll talk about all the rumors. We're going to talk about all those assholes out there who pretended like they had cancer to get a one-up in life, like Erin Finch, the writer of Grey's Anatomy. Fuck her. We're going to talk about her and all these other people who made it in life because they took advantage of my story and everyone else's story out there saying they had cancer. And fuck them. But I want to talk about it because it's cool stuff to hear about. It's cool stuff to talk about. It's fascinating. We want to hear about it. I hope you subscribe to my podcast so you can hear everything that's coming up. I look forward to laughing with you. I'm going to have a live podcast on Tuesdays at 4:00 Mountain Standard Time. Yes, I am in Colorado on oxygen 24/7, by the way. So I'm hoping to move to Idaho. I'm going to move to a lower elevation, just so you know, so I don't have to be on the stupid oxygen, the nose hose 24/7. Anyways, Tuesdays, 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, no matter where I live, we're going to open it up live so we can hear what you have to say. And we'll bring up topics, but you can talk whatever you want. We'll just shoot the shit. Whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to talk about, I'll be there hosting it live. So please subscribe to Cancer, Smiles, and Sarcasm. I look forward to speaking with you. I look forward to motivating you. I look forward to laughing with you. And with that, I am going to, I wanted to leave you with a joke, but instead I'm just going to leave you with this idea of, no matter where the fuck I am, I have this chocolate lab and I just love her so much. But no matter where I am, wherever I sit, wherever I stand, she follows me around and she lays on my nose hose. So every time I get up, I am just, and that is me getting my nose hose pulled out of my nose, my head going down. And then you can imagine me cussing at this dog. And I've tried just to laugh. We try and laugh at the house. We try and laugh every time she does it. And it's about 10 times a day that she sits on my nose hose. I guess it's because she loves me, but oh my God. Anyways, so I'll leave you with that view. And I want to leave you with my recent fortune from a fortune cookie that says your greatest opportunities come from adversity. And yes, that's true. And adversity is what I'm dealing with. Adversity is what you deal with every day, whether it be adversity in work, with your family, this bullshit of cancer, whatever it is, an opportunity arises, right? My opportunity is to plan my funeral, or my opportunity is to live my life, go on vacation, celebrate today, call a friend, pick up the phone. My story, hopefully, is an adversity for you, and you can take the opportunity to call a loved one or tell somebody you love them today. Because tomorrow you could be in my shoes. You could have a death sentence. I do not wish that on you, but I do want to motivate you, because if everyone was living their life as though they had stage 4 cancer, I think we'd be in a totally different place today, tomorrow, whatever. Anyways, subscribe, please, to Cancer, Smiles, and Sarcasm, and we will be talking soon. Adios, people.